if you are a 360 booth operator, this video is for you. I'm going to show you guys how to set up a template for a portrait orientation, which is like this, and also for landscape mode, which is like this. So vertical, horizontal, portrait, landscape. Let's dive into it right now. So inside of Snappic, what you want to do is you want to select Video FX, and then you want to hit Next right over here. A lot of you guys know how to do this, but I'm going to take you step by step real quick here. And then I'm going to name the event David Rodriguez. Now the event name is important, so I would probably name it under your client's name as well. Venue name, to me, not truly important, but if it's happening over at the Dodger Stadium, you can put Dodger Stadium, okay? Now event start date, I would say start it on the day that you're going to start troubleshooting. So today is the day that we start troubleshooting, November 6th. Event date end. So what we want to do is we want to push that out a day after the event. So I'll go ahead and do that, 13, and then choose the time, okay? Next. Now this next section is pretty important because how do we want to distribute those videos? We want to distribute them via text. We also want to have the ability to airdrop. That's the most important for me as far as distributing out those videos, because if they have a Android device, they can use the text messaging, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up my password, which is all ones, and then I'm going to hit next, and then I'm going to hit next again, and then we're going to come across app appearance. Not really important, not for 360 video booths, but the video template chooser, let's dive into that. So if we go to select template from library, you'll quickly see that Snappic has already designed a few actual templates for us. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and select this one right here, and then you'll see that resolution. Square is not very popular. However, landscape and portrait are the ones that I use the most. So I'm going to show you guys, starting off with landscape. It shows 1920 by 1080. So this is landscape orientation. So all we have to do now is go into Canva, and then on Canva, let's go to where it says custom size, create new, and then we'll insert, so we're doing 1920 by 1080. And so what I want to do is I want to make sure that I select the same orientation so that I can actually get that landscape. This right here is portrait. I don't want this. So if you guys come over to resize right over here, right? Once you guys are in resize, you'll see that 19 by 20 1080 is right here, right? You can punch in those numbers as well, and then I go to resize this design, and then boom, you actually see it redesigned just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my logo here, and I'm only going to do this because I want to keep this video as short as possible but as informative. So that's my logo right there, and I'll put it on that corner right there. Now I'm going to call this one landscape, okay? So make sure before you guys export, name it something that will actually be aligned with what you're trying to accomplish here. And for me, I'm trying to have two different orientations, landscape and portrait. So this is landscape. I'm going to go to download transparent background. Make sure you put transparent background, and now that's been downloaded. So as I come back to Snappic, I also want to do portrait, which is 1080 by 1920. So what I'll do is I'll jump right back into Canva and save myself by some time by going to resize and then choosing 1080 by 1920. So if we go to custom size, I can choose 1080 by 1920. If it's not here, I can just go put in the numbers right here. So I would put in 1080 height 1920 and then resize this design. It'll resize this design. Now I can take that logo, I can make it a little bit bigger, put it right back in that corner right there, and then also export. But before I export, what's up? We're going to definitely go ahead and name that one more time, a little different. This one's portrait. So download transparent background and download right there. So now that we have both downloaded, we can actually jump over back into Snappic, go to the portrait one, select the overlay here by clicking this and looking for the portrait one we just created. So this one's right here, and I like the fact that it says 1080 by 1920 here at the bottom. So I'll double click, and now that one's been added. I'm going to go to save so it can save it, and then we're going to go ahead and select another 360 booth template. I'm going to go with this one right here, but this one we're going to go with landscape. So I click landscape, I'm going to go click here, and I'm going to select the landscape one. Now where's the landscape one we created together? Right here. As you can see, it's a transparent file. Now when it comes to output frame rate, leave it at 20 by 30, because what happens if you switch over to 40 by 60, it looks smooth, but when you put it on Instagram, they're going to compress it, and it's going to take some of that nice detail, some of that resolution away, because it compresses it even more. So I would say 20 by 30 is a sweet spot. Trust me, I do this all the time. And now you go to save. And that, my friends, is exactly how you create an overlay, whether it's a portrait or a landscape. Stick around because I have a video part 2 in which I go out in the field and I give you a real life scenario behind the scenes as far as how the video is going to look in portrait mode and landscape mode, and should you have your phone in portrait mode or landscape mode when you're actually shooting with these different resolutions. I'm going to dive into the visuals, so like I said, there is part 2 to this video, but for now I hope that you guys got this down. It's not too difficult, it's just step by step. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.